Okay, so I've got the instructions on the cutting mat. This is pretty much all we're really going to go on for this build. We have two sides of a large drawing. I think they are quite to scale, so there's pretty much no written explanation of how we build this. So I'm pretty much just going to have to build this off of pictures and a little bit of my own experience. So pretty much just going to start off with this figure one at the minute. Okay, so I've already cut a few parts out of the laser cut part, so we're just pretty much, this whole diorama set's going to comprise of like 3 large frames. So as if this was like a real ship, this would be a very large scale, because this ship would be like this. So you can imagine the how big this one gun deck would be. If this would be built, this is a full size model, that's almost 600 across. Yeah, but pretty much we're just going to concentrate on like 1/4 of a gun deck. Yeah, so we've got these 6 main parts. Just cut them out the laser cut fret, and then just all I've done is just give the edges a little bit of a sanding. So if you've been following my channel for some time, you'll be not surprised that I'm going to slightly build this a little bit different to how it is on the this little drawing that we've got. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take an upper deck and a lower deck, and they just need gluing together in these 2 locations. So I've just got some wood glue for outer interest. I'm actually just trying something different for a change. I'm just using this Evo stick wood glue. I've always used Gorilla Glue for a long time, but I just thought I'd just try something different for change. So what I'm going to do, I'll probably paint it into this edge actually. A little bit on that edge. And just a little bit on this edge as well. Let's push these together. This is quite good stuff there, so we can kind of leave that kind of flat on the so we can just leave that on the cutting mat to dry. I'm just going to brush a little bit of the excess water on. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that process again, but not a third time. These modern glues are very good sticking qualities. So like I say, I'm going to leave this one unglued, and that'll all be come apparent in the next stage of the build. Okay, so while I'm waiting for these frames to dry, I'm just going to work on some of these cross members. We've got 6 of these. They're all the same, 3 for the bottom, 3 for the top. So what I'm going to do is take a file and just slightly smooth out the channels. Okay, so after the glue's dried on the 2 outer frames, I've just added some of these cross members, and I've added the first frame that I've actually not glued together. And like I say, I'll go into it a little bit more into the build, but by not having this this other frame built up, we've got the outer layer to plank, and we've got the inner layer to plank as well. So, and then we've got all this like decoration that fits in between these parts. So by not gluing these in, especially when this front end's all nice and secure, we can just pop these little frames out. I'd probably leave that back one in, that back one will be fine, to be fair. But then we can kind of work on unobstructed. So if this frame was in here like that now, it'd be quite difficult. So yeah, so if this main frame down the middle was in as well, it'd be a lot more difficult to kind of work in and put your hands in, and especially on this. But like I say, there's nothing that's going to stop us from planking the inner frame and the outer frame with these with this missing. And then we can just add this a little bit later in the build. So that's my thinking behind that. So all they literally do is we just give them a quick file in between the little joints, and they just press in. Little bit disappointed that the kit's made up of ply. I would have much preferred it to be in like a solid oak, but a lot of this won't be seen. I think pretty much once all this deck's completely planked, quite a bit of this top's planked, all the front's covered's planked, so pretty much it's only going to be this back edge that's seen. So probably just later on in the build, a bit like I did with the Stoffer Camel, I might just laminate a piece of wood over that, so that's kind of takes away that plywood edge. But yeah, most of this won't be seen. Okay, so in the instructions, just to secure up these frames that were built, we just got to kind of drill it and put a little dowel in there just to kind of secure it. Probably doesn't really need it now. We probably will definitely need that one there when I build that one on. But I'm just going to do it just so I can show you the process. Like I say, if this was a solid block of wood, it'd be a lot easier to drill, because pretty much all we're going to have to drill now is through that centerpiece of the ply, which is 2mm. So I'm just going to start off with a little pilot drill at 1.2. And I'm just going to quickly change over just to a 2mm bit. I'm just using that guide from the smaller drill bit. And that's drilled a really nice central pin. If you're not really confident with doing that, you can kind of leave that, but I just wanted to show you the technique. You just have to make sure that your drill's completely vertical. If it's slightly angled, then it's going to burst out the sides. You don't want that. Okay, so cocktail stick's 2mm, so that's why I drilled it at 2mm, and then I'm just going to butter it up, a little bit of glue. Take up the point because I want to hammer it home. I'm just going to push that in. And then just get a little tap. Then just leave that to dry. And then we'll just snip off the end. But that's just made that joint a lot securer. You can imagine now the cocktail stick's probably going down around about there. So we've got, yeah, a really nice tight joint now. Okay, so what we need to do now is start building up this front edge. So in the instruction it says use an 8x3, or sorry, a 3x15. So that's the only piece of 3x15 I've got in the kit. So we're going to use that. So if you're lucky enough to have some digital calipers, so you can, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to measure it on the front end, even though it doesn't look too bad, to be fair. Yeah, actually it's not bad, but I was actually going to measure it from this back edge, because that's where that joiner piece is. That's pulling it to the correct distance. But yeah, that's actually not bad at all, that, which is 100, about 101. Yeah, so there's not much in that at all. If you haven't got any calipers, what you can do is just bring the piece of wood up to the front of the frame, and then you could just mark it right on the edge. That's just be good if you've not got any calipers. And all I'm going to do now is just cut these at 101mm. Okay, so I've just cut them at 100mm. They're fitting there just fine. I'll just cut them on my little table saw. It makes too much of a noise to actually show you. But now we're just going to glue it in and just set it back slightly. We've got some more of this wood that's going to go. So this wood is going to go and make up the front face, so we can put a piece on that, and then we can actually just kind of push that up to it. Okay, so I don't normally use super glue on my wooden builds. Quite a traditionalist, like to use wood glue, but yeah, sometimes it's can really slow the process of making videos down using wood glue. So some of the sections where I can get away with, I'm just going to actually just use a little bit of super glue. I'm just going to hold that a few seconds while the glue dries. I'll just reinforce down the edges a little bit more of the capillary action as the super glue's run in. Do the same on the other side. Same again. Let's get a bit of a pinch. Because this is a larger scale, I think it's I can't remember what the scale was. I think it's 1/24. It's quite a large scale, so some of my clamps that I'd normally use on my smaller builds, they won't actually fit in between things. They might fit on some of these sections, but they won't actually fit in between the skeleton ribs. But yeah, it's got that. So same again, just secure the front edge. I don't know where a lot of YouTubers out there use super glue, so I don't think there'll be any worry about it failing in the future. Okay, so now we've got some of these little triangles, and same again, they're just going to come in on this front edge and actually just kind of square everything up. So we've got two either sides there and one on this far side as well. So all I've done with them, just come out the laser cut part, and then I'm just going to clean up the edges all the way around. And then same again, I'm just going to put some super glue on them. None of this will be seen, so I don't mind super glue. When I do all the planking on the front and the sides, I'll all use wood glue for that. So we'll do that one. And then this one first. This one will then square it up. Don't really have to be too precise with this because it's all just hidden. And then pretty much all we're going to do is just glue the two more in the middle. Okay, so we're going to move on to adding these these ribs to make up the gun port. So I've just got 4 of these little parts. Same again, just cut them out the laser cut little part that's supplied, and that just kind of looks like there's not a lot on it. But yeah, the thing is, same again, these when we're going to make up the guns, these being plywood, all the edges are going to be visible. So yeah, same again, would have really liked this one piece just come out with a solid piece of hardwood rather than plywood. So I've cut all them out, sanded them, so now we're going to start fitting them. So I've just made a little few little templates, and I'll show you that in a minute. So this is a wood that we're going to fit onto the front of the diorama. So what I'm going to do is pretty much halfway up. I'm just going to I say, don't have to be accurate. It's only just as a temporary, as a guide. You know, I'll show you all what it's my reasoning for that in a second. So I'm just going to hold that on there. Okay, so the only measurement we get on this next part is this figure there, and that's 32. So that pretty much just means the component opening is 32 mil. So pretty much all the rest of the measurements we have to kind of work out ourselves. So I've just quickly worked it out. These are 6 mil. We've got a 32 mil gun port. So the gap either side that we've got left out of the 100 mil is going to be 27.5. So like I say, I've just cut a couple of these little blocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one of these gun ports ribs up to that block. Like I say, this front of this temporary piece of planking on the front will mean we can bring it up flush with all the facings, and then we'll put another 27.5 up here, up at the bottom. So same again, because I want to try and speed this along a little bit, I'm just going to actually use super glue. But what I'm going to do first is just going to put just a tiny little amount of wood glue just along that edge, just to kind of, I mean, you could probably use a bit of double-sided tape. I'm just going to put that there so just keep dropping off. Super glue on this bottom of this rib, bring it nice and flush up to this stop, bring it flush with this face, kind of press that in, and then I can bring this over 27.5 in, can have it up the top, which will probably be fine actually. Okay, so now I'm just going to bring in the 32 one. So we can it all must peel off after. Just put that 32 just in there. Get the another rib, and we're going to put that, same again, we're going to put that in there. Same again, put plenty of super glue on this bottom edge. Bring that in, and then before we plant the super glue, bring it up to that stop first, and then we can drop it down. Get a little bit of a clamp just on there. That should be a nice 32 space. Nice 32 space at the bottom. 27.5 mil gap at the side. And then hopefully, if I've done my maths correct, that 27 then should get transferred to there. And that fits like a glove. Yeah, so maybe studying maths at school were quite a good idea. Okay, so that's happy with that. I'll just so you can see it on camera, so you make sure it fits nice there. I mean, this one's not quite. I mean, that one's floating about because it's not being held across them ribs. So yeah, so that one's not springing together. But when we do the other side, that's going to pull all them in. Okay, so now we're just going to close in this top. So on, like I say, on the instructions, it says just use some 3x8. So I've just cut that pretty much exactly the same length as the bottom. So we're going to glue them all into place across this front edge. Just carry on using super glue. I do feel like a bit of a fraud when I use super glue, and I feel like obviously all the traditional shipbuilders from all the years gone by would be kind of looking down on me, criticising me, but it's just makes things easier for YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to glue this on, and I'm going to bring that up to that front edge, and I'm going to sit it down on that one. I'm going to bring that rib forward, so that rib's not quite sat down quite right. Just glue it onto there first, so that's flush with them front edges and them ribs. So I'm just going to bring this front edge flush with some super glue run down these edges. So that one will go across there a little bit later on. So pretty much what we're going to do now is just fill in this side exactly the same as that side, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've just done the next one, gun port exactly the same as did the first one. So hopefully everything was nicely so lined up with the 32, and then hopefully this will be a nice 27.5, which it is. Yeah, so I'm really happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to take off this temporary plank. So pretty much as we start to work his way up, we're using these planks. So yeah, these will be cut to size, and these are all just start to stack up on each other. So after I get to about 2 or 3 planks high, and then we start to line out for the gun ports. So even though it doesn't show you that in the instructions, I'll probably just put some kind of a bottom and a top for the gun port itself. But yeah, that's for the next video. Yeah, so I hope you kind of understand my thinking behind leaving that out. So if I'd have made it that one in, the only real difference is now is just that would be coming across, is it? That one would kind of go across there and would have been squeezed in together. But like I say, when we do the planking, all I really need is one on the front, one on the back. As soon as this is planked, all this front and back, all this will be really rigid, and then you can come out and we've got all this free access, open space to work on. Okay, so you enjoyed today's video. Pretty much just getting a lot of this skeleton already built up. Like I say, next video we'll do some probably planking the face and probably adding the deck to the floor. Like I say, I'm only planning to make this about a 3 or 4, no sorry, about 5 or 6 video long series, but yeah, making good progress already. So just before we go, I'd like to just thank everybody that's already donated to my workshop project. It means a lot to me. I'm already at 50% of the donation, so yeah, I just want to thank everybody personally, and I'll see you all in the next video.